ossuary gallery is 220 meters from the main entrance. On this, the first day of the dig, all equipment and supplies have to be carried into the site. The entire tunnel stretches for nearly 4 kilometers through limestone and clay corridors. It's a karst system, shaped by the incessant flow of water. A subterranean river called the Pando has worn away the calciferous rock over tens of thousands of years. Rain above can flood the Pando, making it sometimes extremely dangerous to work here. A puddle can grow into a raging torrent.
What's this story about? You like it? Is it a good story?
That's why work facilities have been built to stay. The ossuary gallery is slightly higher than the main gallery. It's safe from flooding, but not from looters. In the first years of the dig, fossils were stolen. A steel cage now keeps the precious remains safe 23 meters below the earth.
Because we're used to working in caves, this one was just another cave, but it proved more interesting because it was like a container of rather unusual remains.
Now the tiny gallery, once explored by cavers, has become a chamber, hollowed out bit by bit using only brushes and spades. The researchers have shaped El Cedron with precision and care. The site is cramped and difficult to traverse, but in this confined space, over 1,000 bone fragments and hundreds of stone tools have been found. Every bucket full of soil taken from around the fossils is also checked for small pieces of bone and stone.
Once we had started the excavation in El Cedron, the big question was, what were the human remains doing there? We didn't know what it was used for. It could have been a home, a burial ground, or the remains could have come from somewhere else and were in a secondary position.
Be right
We
back.
just didn't know.
My neighbor pulled up. You can stay. I don't want you barking. Stay in.
Even modern humans need electricity down here, and plenty of warm clothes. The temperature never rises above 10 degrees Celsius.
I have been in many Neanderthal sites, and nothing compares to that. The Neanderthals usually are found in rock shelters, facing south, close to a river. A nice place to be if you are in a glacial period.
Neanderthal occupation sites were open to fresh air, but also protected. Neanderthal real estate ranged from the humble rock shelter by a quiet stream to cathedral-like rock towers along the Mediterranean. Neanderthals lived throughout Eurasia. But who were these people? Jean-Jacques Houblé is the director of human evolution at the Max Planck Institute in Leipzig. He has led field operations in many Neanderthal strongholds and is an expert in their evolution.
The Neanderthals were the real Europeans. They've lived in Europe for maybe 300,000 or 400,000 years, and they have been a very successful group of archaic humans. They are close to us. They are also different. The danger, of course, and it's a danger in which we often fall, is to consider Neanderthals just like other humans, other modern humans, and to put in their behavior or in their conception of the world our conception of the world. But we should not forget that we're talking about a species that separated from us almost 1 million years ago.
Time winds slowly through the quiet valleys of Pilonia in the far north of Spain. People here take care the past is not forgotten. Below the valleys, another world, beyond memory, prehistory. In March 1994, cavers exploring El Cedron cave system deviate from the main
What was that
tunnel
story
and
about?
climb up into a
Was it a good
small
one?
side gallery. The cave is a favorite haunt for adventurers, but many locals are superstitious about El Cedron. What is about to be found may confirm their fears.
Writing the history of the real Europeans. Huh?
Hey, I found something.
A burial
Many Neanderthal strongholds.
Yeah, whatever.
Lifting the rusted blade out in one piece is
Uh-oh.
not going to be easy.
It's your cousin's
Overlapping
sword, Toga.
bones don't help.
Because that is actually lying over the top of that. I thought it was going underneath, but if you look, it's lying over the top. So you're going to have some rib with it, but you know it's there.
You happy we take it with them?
Yeah, as long as we know it's there, you know it's there, so that we can get it back eventually.
Okay. Okay. Brilliant.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to go get the box then. Get the can.
Put it under a board under it. I would have just slid a board under it.
Is part of the
You guys are
scaffolding.
idiots using their hands on it.
Do you think it is what we're looking at is likely
I'm a
to be
better
part of the
archaeologist
scaffolding?
than that.
It could be.
The colour
Yeah.
difference is certainly...
Yeah, you need that earth too.
But that's what I have. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
I'd put more
Right,
padding
so
on
that's
it than
red,
that.
And I need a little I need the tip, and you've got the
I've got
tang.
to.
Right, and then I'll tidy
Why
up
are you
that
touching it with your hands? Put some gloves on.
Great. Yeah. So add a little support for its ride.
Lifting fragile archaeology is always stressful.
We captured together, under President Trump's leadership, 6 of the FBI's most wanted fugitives in 1 calendar year. To put that in perspective, that is 2 more than the entirety of the prior administration. And you cannot do that alone at the FBI. You have to have an Attorney General and a Department of Justice willing to prosecute, willing to go to the 4 corners of the earth and make sure we deliver justice. And that's what we're doing here today. We captured together, under President Trump's leadership,
Phineas Gage was a railroad foreman who was
Oh,
working in
you've heard
Vermont.
about him? I've heard this story.
And he was tamping down a hole that had gunpowder in it. And the gunpowder ignited, sending the rod through his eye, up through his brain, taking out a big patch of his brain in the process. At first, people thought, well, this is a miracle. This man has been unscathed from this accident. He had memory, he had language, he had motor control. But of course, his friends noticed a difference.
His life fell apart. He had a hard time holding a job. He lost all of his friends, and he really just struggled.
His personality made him more fitful, irreverent, more profane. He was cursing a lot, lewd behavior, so he had sort of no filter. We now know that the parts of the brain that he sort of surgically excised were involved in emotion and control.
Over 100 years later, neuroscientists mapped the regions of his brain that were harmed in that horrific accident. Areas of his prefrontal cortex, including the brain's thermostat, were damaged, which might account for why he struggled socially. Our brain's thermometer seems to be the insula.
But all that information needs to go somewhere else and be integrated with other types of information.
That's our brain's thermostat, a region located inside the prefrontal cortex that processes our emotions and helps regulate our behavior. He couldn't regulate his emotions or process how other people might react to his behavior.
And that was the key moment, I think, in neuroscience history when people realized, oh, it's not just that motor, memory, language is in the brain. Your personality is up there. Your morality is up there. The things that make you, you are there.
I think we all kind of know intuitively that emotions impact our decisions. So what sort of extra information is this giving us?
In a lot of the scientific work that's been done on studying emotion decision-making, people have really focused on how emotions lead us to make worse decisions, maybe even irrational. And I actually don't think that's true.
So anyway, the guy had, I don't care about the emotions. The thing is, the guy was poking a hole, had some gunpowder in it, and shot that rod through his fucking head, and he survived. That's pretty amazing.
Hood we have to address.
Even though he was
issue
a dick.
is with the duct
About
covers.
it
I can't
afterwards.
get to that bracket because the crown molding is in the way. I need a way to secure this to the ceiling and also keep it square.
I don't care.
So imagine you're some alien civilization.
You fell into
looking
a
up at your
black
lovely
hole.
home star S2 in the sky, and one day the thing starts wandering closer and closer to what we call the tidal disruption radius of Sagittarius A star, this 4 million solar mass black hole.
If you fell into a black hole, you'd pass the event horizon, and actually, bizarrely, you'd see nothing. There's no physical barrier, there's no big line in space saying point of no return. You would just drift very casually, gently across the event horizon.
If we could stand on such a planet and look outwards, we'd see something spectacular.
You'd see a distorted universe. And in fact, you see it distorted in both time and space.
You'd see it playing out at an amazingly fast speed. The rest of time would play out unbelievably fast in front of your eyes.
But eventually, tidal and gravitational forces become too strong. Stretching space and everything in it.
Your feet will be pulled more strongly by gravity than your head, so you'd be stretched out into a giant string, and eventually you'd be one long
You'd be
string,
dead long
one
before
atom
that.
thick. We call this spaghettification.
You would be dead
Boulders become
long
rocks.
before that.
Rocks become sand, whose very atoms are then pulled apart. Gravity and the quantum world collide. Ahead, the heart of the black hole.
I'm gonna try the camera over here, see what you think about that. I don't know, it's not working good because the damn...
Our idea of a singularity is that everything is compressed beyond what it can be.
The camera, the lens,
But yet still exists.
the core is so short.
That is